The year is 1271. The bustling streets of Venice echo with the cries of merchants, the scent of spices from the east, and the clinking of gold coins in commerce. Among the crowd walks a young 17-year-old man named Marco Polo, who was about to leave behind the only world he knew, the mission to assist his father and uncle and carry a letter from the Pope and a flask of holy oil to the legendary Kublai Khan in the distant court of Cathay, the area we know as northern China. But what begins as a diplomatic errand will become the adventure of a lifetime. For Marco, this was not just a journey. It was a chance to prove himself worthy of his family's merchant legacy. Marco Polo is clearly no warrior, yet he faces a journey that will test his endurance, intellect, and diplomacy. The known maps end long before his destination. He must navigate deserts where the sun burns like fire, mountains capped with eternal snow, and seas where storms swallow ships whole. Every mile is a gamble. The risk of failure hangs over him like a shadow. Setting out from Venice, he would spend nearly 24 years exploring lands far beyond the imagination of his time. With his father and uncle, he crossed the Mediterranean, trekked through the deserts of Persia, climbed the icy passes of the Pamirs, and followed the Silk Road deep into China. Along the way, he witnessed the vibrant markets of the Middle East, the grandeur of Kublai Khan's court, and the wonders of India and Southeast Asia. His travels stretched from the Middle East to the islands of the South China Sea, an odyssey that forever expanded Europe's vision of the world. In this video, we will discuss his destinations, but also places of modern interest, along or near the route he went on his journey in an attempt to answer a question. How did he overcome the journey's hardships, and what did he learn? Let us trace his steps into how the ancient world appears today, and see if we can share the journey of a lifetime and discover what he learned. Venice was Marco Polo's birthplace and one of the most powerful maritime republics in Europe. In 1271, Marco left Venice with his father Niccolo and uncle Maffeo on a journey to deliver a message from the Pope to Kublai Khan. This marked the beginning of his epic 24-year journey. Modern visitors will find that Venice remains one of the world's most unforgettable cities. The city is a masterpiece of water and stone, where winding canals take the place of streets, and every turn reveals a palazzo, bridge, or hidden piazza. St. Mark's Basilica, with its dazzling Byzantine mosaics, reflects Venice's centuries of connection with the East, while the Doge's Palace showcases the city's political power and artistic grandeur. The Grand Canal, lined with centuries-old palaces, tells the story of Venetian wealth and ambition, while a gondola ride offers a timeless romantic view of daily life on the water. The Rialto Bridge and its bustling markets capture the commercial heart of Venice, where spices, silks, and goods from across the world once changed hands. Even today, Venice feels like a crossroads of cultures, a fitting starting point for retracing Marco Polo's legendary path. Leaving Venice with his father and uncle, Marco first set sail for the Holy Land, seeking the Pope's blessing before venturing eastward into lands few Europeans had ever seen. The Polo family stopped in Akko to obtain letters from Pope Gregory X, fulfilling a request from Kublai Khan, who had asked for Christian scholars and papal representatives. Here, the Polo family gathered supplies and intelligence. The Holy Land was tense with political unrest, but it was also the last familiar territory before plunging into the unknown. Marco learned quickly that diplomacy could be just as valuable as silver. Akko, then under Crusader control, was a vital religious and trade hub, connecting Europe to the east. While Akko's medieval walls and fortresses are now partly in ruins, you can still walk the narrow stone alleys and underground Crusader halls. This is where the East began for a European traveler in the 13th century. Akko is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, brimming with layers of Crusader, Ottoman, and Islamic history. The Crusader fortress reveals massive subterranean halls and knights' halls that Marco Polo likely saw. You can walk along the preserved city walls and explore the Templar tunnels, which once linked the port to the fortress. The bustling old city features vibrant markets, ancient mosques, and a lively port. Akko's blend of Eastern and Western architecture reflects the same crossroads of civilizations that Marco Polo would have encountered. It's an essential destination for history lovers, exploring the legacy of the Crusades and medieval trade routes. With the Pope's letter and sacred oil in hand, they headed next to Ayas, knowing the journey will take years. After departing from Akko, the Polo family passed through Ayas to secure passage deeper into Asia. As one of the busiest Mediterranean ports of its day, Ayas served as a gateway where goods, ideas, and travelers converged before setting out on the long overland journeys eastward. The ancient port of Ayas is now modern Yumurtalık, a quiet town on Turkey's Mediterranean coast known for its serene beaches and tranquil atmosphere. Nearby, the city of Mersin offers additional attractions, including the famous Maiden's Castle, an island fortress dating to the 12th century, rising dramatically from the sea. Inland, Yerkapru Waterfall provides a striking natural retreat, cascading nearly 30 meters into a turquoise pool framed by lush greenery. History enthusiasts can also explore the ruins of Roman aqueducts and the ancient city of Aleasa Sebaste, about 55 kilometers from Mersin. Once a prosperous Roman town, it had already declined by Polo's time, yet its theater, agora, and necropolis still reveal its former grandeur. From the lively port of Ios, Marco Polo and his family turned inland, joining caravans that wound through rugged Anatolian landscapes and across Mesopotamia, eventually arriving at the historic cities of Mosul and Erbil, important crossroads for merchants linking the Mediterranean with the Persian heartlands. Marco Polo likely passed through Mosul and the city of Erbil, that were situated on key caravan routes between the Levant and Persia. Erbil, an ancient city in northern Mesopotamia, had been under Mongol control since the mid-13th century, serving as an administrative center for the surrounding region. For Polo, Erbil would have been a place to rest, resupply, and gather information about conditions further east. In Mosul, the rebuilt Mosul Grand Mosque and Nineveh ruins reflect a rich but tumultuous legacy. The country is slowly reopening to tourism, offering a rare opportunity to explore the crossroads of ancient civilizations that Polo experienced during a pivotal era of cultural exchange and conflict. Nearby is the Gali Ali Bag waterfall, one of Iraqi Kurdistan's most stunning natural sights, where clear mountain waters plunge into a rocky gorge surrounded by dramatic peaks. Erbil is one of the world's oldest continuously inhabited cities, with the UNESCO-listed Erbil Citadel dominating the skyline. Visitors can explore the citadel's ancient streets, museums, and archaeological layers spanning millennia. At the base of the citadel, the fountains of Shar Park and the clock tower create a lively square where families and friends gather, especially in the evenings, giving visitors a chance to experience the city's daily rhythm. Nearby, the Erbil Bazaar bustles with life, its spice stores, textile stalls, and gold shops echoing the city's long role as a trading hub. The Halil Kayat Mosque, with its soaring domes and ornate interiors, is one of Erbil's most striking landmarks and a masterpiece of modern Islamic architecture. From this area, Marco Polo's path led deeper into Mesopotamia, where the historic city of Baghdad awaited, center of learning, trade, and political power in the Islamic world. Marco Polo passed through Baghdad on his way toward Hormuz. In the 13th century, Baghdad was still recognized as a major center of learning, trade, and Islamic culture, despite the devastating Mongol sack of 1258, which had taken place little more than a decade before his journey. Under the Mongol Ilkhanate, the city retained its importance as a crossroads of commerce. The Presidential Palace. Once a symbol of Iraq's modern political history, the palace stands along the Tigris River and reflects Baghdad's turbulent 20th century legacy. The Taymiyyah Mosque is a striking place of worship. This mosque highlights the enduring religious devotion. Tahrir Square is an essential stop for history enthusiasts. Scattered throughout Baghdad are local churches. These historic churches reflect the city's centuries-old Christian communities and their cultural resilience. Abu Hanifa Clock Tower. Located near the revered Abu Hanifa Mosque, the Abu Hanifa Clock Tower honors the legacy of one of Islam's most influential scholars. The statue of Scheherazade and Shahryar, located on Abu Nuwas Street by the Tigris River. It is a bronze monument paying homage to the legendary storyteller of 1001 Nights, celebrating Baghdad's place in world literature. History enthusiasts can also explore remnants of the ancient Babylonian Empire, including a modern reconstruction of the famous Ishtar Gate, located just south of the city near the modern city of Al-Hila. Travelers can see the great Euphrates River has sustained civilizations for millennia, and its historic irrigation systems and water wheels still echo Mesopotamia's agricultural heritage. South of Baghdad, the Mesopotamian marshes are a unique wetland where visitors can discover reed houses, traditional fishing practices, and a way of life that has endured since antiquity. Leaving Baghdad, Polo describes the journey across the plains that eventually carried him to the shores of the sea. Before reaching Hormuz, a modern traveler tracing Marco Polo's path would journey through Iran, where layers of ancient and Islamic history are woven into the landscape. Just outside of Shiraz lies Naksh-i-Rostam, the rock-cut necropolis of the Achaemenid kings. Here, the monumental tombs of rulers such as Darius the Great are carved into towering cliffs, each decorated with intricate reliefs that celebrate the power and reach of the Persian Empire. Nearby in Persepolis, history enthusiasts will find the remains of the Tashira Palace, built by Darius Spartans as a private residence. Though only fragments of its columns and stairways remain, the palace still conveys the grandeur of what was once one of the most magnificent ceremonial centers in the ancient world. Shiraz itself offers beauty of a different kind. The city is home to the breathtaking Nasir al-Mulk Mosque, better known as the Pink Mosque. With its vibrant stained glass windows, delicate tile work, and kaleidoscope of colors cast across the floor, it is especially magical in the morning light. Visiting at sunrise allows travelers to see the mosque at its most dazzling, when sunlight streams through the windows and transforms the interior into a living canvas of color. When the Polo family finally reached the port city of Hormuz on the Persian Gulf, they intending to sail to China, but the ships were deemed too unsafe and unreliable, so they opted to continue the journey on land. Today, Hormuz Island, located off the southern coast of Iran, is known for its surreal landscapes and colorful red-hued soil. While much of the old city was abandoned, visitors can explore the Rainbow Valley with its otherworldly mineral layers and vibrant cliffs, is a photographer's dream. The change in plans forced the party to turn north, with the intent to cross the treacherous mountains of Afghanistan. Traveling overland through Persia, Marco faced blistering deserts and hostile territories. This setback taught Marco that in exploration, plans are often rewritten by the land itself. After leaving Hormuz, a modern traveler would make their way to the Argi Bomb Citadel. Visiting this vast fortress feels like stepping back in time. Built entirely from sun-dried mud bricks, the sheer scale and atmosphere are awe-inspiring. Take your time to wander through its narrow alleys and quiet courtyards, where the silence of the desert seems to whisper stories of centuries past. Arriving in Kerman, Marco Polo encountered a bustling city renowned for its skilled artisans and valuable trade goods, particularly chainmail armor. Today, Kerman still captivates visitors with sites such as the Ganjali Khan complex, a masterpiece of Safavid-era architecture and urban design, blending bazaars, bathhouses, and mosques into a harmonious whole. Just outside the city lies the Shahzade Mahan Historical Garden, a lush oasis framed by the desert. Its elegant layout of trees, flowing water, and terraced pools creates a striking contrast to the arid landscape, embodying the Persian ideal of paradise on earth. Farther afield, travelers can witness the green lake of Shaddad, a surreal sight where shimmering waters appear against the golden sands of the Lut Desert, especially magical at sunset. As Marco Polo's journey continued beyond Kerman, he crossed the Middle East through the harsh deserts of Persia, and the rugged mountains of Afghanistan. Along the way, he would have relied on caravanserais, fortified roadside inns scattered along the Silk Road. These essential havens offered merchants, pilgrims, and explorers a place to rest, trade, and share stories, making them vital links in the web of cultural and economic exchange across Asia. Marco Polo was headed toward the legendary city of Balkh, once celebrated as a great center of learning and Buddhism, long before the Islamic era. Known in antiquity as the Mother of Cities, Balkh had been a crossroads of civilizations for millennia. By the time Polo arrived, the city had been absorbed into the Mongol-controlled Ilkhanate. Though much of ancient Balkh lies in ruins today, its legacy as a hub of culture, religion, and trade still resonates. Modern travelers would want to see Bamyan Valley, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, once home to the towering Buddhas of Bamyan, monumental statues carved into the cliffs in the 6th century. Though the statues were tragically destroyed in 2001, the niches and surrounding caves decorated with Buddhist frescoes remain deeply moving. The serene valley, surrounded by snow-capped peaks and fertile fields, still feels like a timeless place where cultures once converged. Travelers can still see the Chehel Burj ruins. Located near Balkh, the 40 Towers are the remains of a massive fortress believed to date back to the Bactrian or Kushan period. Though weathered and partially collapsed, the ruins testify to the city's former military strength and its strategic role in protecting caravan routes. The Takht-i Rustam, about 2 kilometers south of Haibak, in Samangan province, lies this significant Buddhist stupa and monastery complex. Hewn directly into the rock, the site includes a domed stupa and meditation caves, representing Afghanistan's rich Buddhist heritage. Nature lovers will find Afghanistan's first national park breathtaking. Bandi Amir National Park is a chain of 6 deep blue lakes separated by natural travertine dams. Spring-fed streams tumble into the lakes, creating a landscape of almost surreal beauty. From Balkh, Marco Polo's caravan pushed onward, each day revealing new languages, religions, and landscapes. The Polo family spent nearly a year in Badakhshan, struggling to cross the forbidding mountain passes. During this time, Marco himself was struck by a lingering illness, likely beginning as a cough and worsening into a fever, forcing them to stay longer than planned. Nestled in the remote northeast of Afghanistan, the province became an unplanned refuge where Polo recovered before pressing onward. The Wakhan Corridor is a narrow strip of land in northeastern Afghanistan, stretches toward China, Tajikistan, and Pakistan, and has served as a natural passageway for traders and explorers for centuries. Surrounded by towering peaks of the Hindu Kush and the Pamirs, the Wakhan offers sweeping views, remote villages, and a sense of timeless isolation. Travelers today are struck by its dramatic landscapes and the resilience of the Wakhi and Kyrgyz peoples who call it home. Though technically across the border in northern Pakistan, the Hunza Valley is part of the broader cultural and geographic region Marco Polo would have been aware of while passing through Badakhshan. Known as Shangri-Las by some, Hunza is renowned for its fertile terraces, apricot orchards, and towering peaks like Ulter Sar and Rakaposhi. It has long been a cultural crossroads where Silk Road traders rested and exchanged goods, stories, and traditions. In the next stretch of Marco Polo's journey, he crossed into the mighty Pamir Mountains, often called the roof of the world. These vast, windswept plateaus rose so high that travelers spoke of gasping for breath in the thin air and struggling against bitter cold even in summer. Marco Polo traversed the Pamir Mountains battling thin air and freezing winds biting their lungs to reach Kashgar. Following ancient Silk Road trails, the Pamirs were known to travelers as the roof of the world for their extreme altitude and rugged terrain. Crossing them was grueling but unavoidable on the overland route to China from Badakhshan. Yet Marco studies the customs of mountain tribes. He records details no European has heard before: the diet, dress, and beliefs of peoples living at the very edges of the known world. Even today, the Pamirs are one of the most dramatic and remote mountain ranges in the world, wild and humbling as they were 750 years ago. In Tajikistan, the Pamir Highway offers jaw-dropping vistas of glacial peaks, deep valleys, and high-altitude plateaus dotted with yaks and nomadic herders. Trekkers can explore the Murgab Plateau, Lake Karakul, and the Wakhan Corridor, home to ancient petroglyphs and centuries-old shrines. From Kashgar, Marco Polo would have traveled eastward through the harsh desert landscapes of Central Asia, skirting the edges of river basins that sustained life in an otherwise arid environment. The route took him across the fringes of the Taklamakan Desert, a place of shifting sands and legendary difficulty, where ancient travelers relied on oasis towns for survival. Along the way, sandstone architecture and caravanserais dotted the trade routes of what is now Xinjiang province. Following this arduous stretch, Polo and his companions continued on toward Dinhuang, a desert crossroads famed for its Buddhist grottos and strategic position on the Silk Road. To reach central China and Dunhuang, Marco Polo had to cross the Lop Desert, part of the Greater Taklamakan Desert. This route, though perilous, was the only practical overland passage from the Western Silk Road oases into the Chinese heartland. Polo vividly described the hardships of the crossing, the endless dunes, the scorching days, and freezing nights. Most haunting were the local legends he recorded. Travelers at night sometimes heard ghostly voices calling their names, luring them off course, only to vanish into the desert. These eerie tales captured both the mystery and the danger of the Silk Road. For today's traveler, Dunhuang offers a breathtaking reward at the edge of the desert. The Crescent Lake and Pagoda, a natural spring oasis surrounded by towering dunes, has been a lifeline for caravans for centuries and remains a stunning sight at sunrise or sunset. Nearby, the Mogao Caves, also called the Caves of 1,000 Buddhas, house some of the finest Buddhist art in the world, with murals, sculptures, and manuscripts spanning 1,000 years of history. For those interested in the region's ancient urban life, the Chaohe ruins, located on a plateau between two rivers near Turpan, are among the best preserved ancient earthen cities in the world. Once a strategic garrison and trading hub along the Silk Road, Chaohe thrived between the 2nd century BCE and the 14th century. The absence of a surrounding wall, protected instead by steep cliffs, makes it unique compared to other fortified Silk Road cities. Today, the ruins stand as a hauntingly beautiful reminder of the civilizations that rose and fell along these desert trade routes. After leaving the spiritual and commercial vibrancy of Dunhuang behind, at last, after 3 years of perilous travel, Marco reached northern China and was making his way into Inner Mongolia. A modern traveler heading to Chengdu might first stop at the ancient city wall of Datong, one of China's best preserved Ming Dynasty fortifications. This massive 7.4-kilometer circuit, with restored watchtowers and imposing gates, allows visitors to walk or bike along its broad ramparts, while enjoying sweeping views of the old city below. It's a journey back into the defensive power and urban planning of Imperial China. Not far away stands the astonishing Hanging Temple, Zhuangkongxi, a monastery clinging to the sheer cliff face of Mount Heng, some 60 meters above the ground. Its wooden structures, seemingly suspended in midair, are a marvel of engineering, even more remarkable. The temple embodies China's 3 teachings, uniquely blending Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism within one sacred site. Another must-see is the Yungang Grottos. Carved into sandstone cliffs during the 5th and 6th centuries, the grottos contain over 51,000 statues and carvings of the Buddha, ranging from miniature figurines to towering colossi. When Marco Polo finally reached Chengdu, Kublai Khan's fabled summer palace, better known in the West as Xanadu, the great Khan welcomed the Polos warmly. Marco would spend 17 years in the Khan's service, traveling on diplomatic and administrative missions across the empire. Today, near modern-day Zhenglin Banner, in Inner Mongolia, visitors can wander among the grassy ruins, remnants of palace walls, foundations, and earthen mounds that once marked the heart of Kublai's summer capital. Though only fragments remain, the site continues to stir the imagination, immortalized by Polo's accounts and later by poets who dreamed of Xanadu. Cambaluc, known today as Beijing, was the principal capital of Kublai Khan and the administrative heart of the Yuan dynasty. Marco Polo lived here for many years, serving as an envoy and official in the Khan's court. From this great capital, he launched expeditions across the empire and witnessed firsthand the wealth, sophistication, and power of Mongol rule. The city was strategically placed near the Great Wall of China, ensuring its role as both a political center and a defensive stronghold guarding the empire's northern frontier. Modern-day Beijing, built upon the foundations of Cambaluc, still stands as a center of power and culture. While little survives from the 13th century, its historic sites capture echoes of Polo's description. The Forbidden City, constructed in the 15th century, reflects the same grand imperial layout of walled courts, ceremonial halls, and palaces that Polo would have seen in Yuan times. Visitors will also find striking bronze guardian statues, including dragons, turtles, and lions, symbols of imperial authority and cosmic balance, which evoke the artistry of the Mongol and later Ming courts. Other landmarks worth exploring include the Temple of Heaven, a masterpiece of ritual architecture, the Lama Temple, one of the largest and most important Tibetan Buddhist monasteries outside Tibet, and scattered remnants of the city's ancient walls and gates. Beyond the monuments, Beijing is also a vibrant modern metropolis, where history and innovation intertwine. Strolling down Chenmen Street, a lively pedestrian avenue lined with restored architecture, traditional tea houses, and local shops, travelers can enjoy the same bustling spirit of trade and daily life that once filled the avenues of Cambaluc. Marco Polo reportedly served as an official or governor in Yangzhou for about 3 years, though the exact position remains debated. Yangzhou was a wealthy trade hub in Jiangsu province, favored by the Mongols for its strategic location along the Grand Canal and near the Yangtze River. As a major city in the Yuan dynasty, it flourished as a commercial and cultural center, linking inland waterways to the empire's vast trade networks. Modern Yangzhou enchants visitors with its blend of history, classical gardens, and canal town charm. Nearby in Nanjing, the Ming Dynasty city wall stands as one of the largest surviving ancient defensive walls in the world, stretching over 20 miles and showcasing the grandeur of Ming-era engineering. In Suzhou, often called the Venice of the East, the humble administrator's garden offers exquisite examples of Chinese garden artistry with ponds, rockeries, and delicate pavilions. Suzhou also surprises visitors with a quirky landmark, the London Tower Bridge replica, a modern architectural curiosity juxtaposed against its timeless waterways. In Shanghai, the graceful Yuyan Yu Garden Pagoda immerses travelers in Ming-style landscaping and traditional architecture. For those venturing to Wuxi, highlights include Weishan Old Town, a historic district filled with temples, tea houses, and canals; Nanchang Street, where traditional architecture meets lively shops; and Wuxi Park, famous in spring for its sakura cherry blossoms. By night, the ancient town's glowing lanterns reflect off the water, creating a magical atmosphere that recalls China's centuries-old love affair with light and river life. Marco Polo visited Hangzhou, which he called Quinsai. While serving as an envoy of Kublai Khan, he praised it as the finest and most splendid city in the world, noting its wealth, beauty, and the sophistication of its canal system, markets, and cultural life under UN rule. Today, Hangzhou remains one of China's most beautiful and historically significant cities. Westlake, with its serene waters, classical gardens, and stone bridges, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and the city's most iconic feature. Overlooking Westlake, the 5-story Leifeng Pagoda is one of Hangzhou's most iconic landmarks. Originally built in 975 AD, it has been rebuilt and restored, offering panoramic views of the lake and city, especially magical at sunset. Fuxing Temple is a historic Buddhist site tucked amid tranquil surroundings, reflecting the deep religious heritage of Hangzhou. With its serene halls and ancient trees, the temple invites quiet reflection away from the bustle of the city. The pavilion on Wu Hill provides sweeping views of Hangzhou, Westlake, and the distant mountains. Its elevated perch has long been a favorite spot for poets, scholars, and travelers seeking inspiration in the city's natural beauty. Perched dramatically on the cliffs of Jianda, the Dacian temples combine breathtaking scenery with centuries of spiritual history. Built into sheer rock faces, the temples seem to defy gravity, and the golden statue gleams against towering mountains and misty valleys. Visitors can hike along stone paths and winding staircases to reach the complex, rewarded with sweeping views of rivers, forests, and peaks. The area is also steeped in legend, said to be where a great monk once lived, adding a touch of mystique to this sacred site. Heading south, as Marco Polo journeyed deeper into southern China during the 1290s, he passed through the region of modern-day Taizhou, an area celebrated for its natural beauty and cultural heritage. Nestled between mountains and sea, Taizhou has long been a gateway to the lush landscapes and thriving trade of Shushan province. For Polo, this was another step on his mission through the Yuan Empire. Today, travelers would pass the Longjing tea plantation, where terraced hillsides produce China's most celebrated green tea. A stroll through the plantations offers both history and a taste of authentic tea culture. Another modern stop would be Shengxianju Scenic Area in Taizhou. Nestled among high mountains, cascading waterfalls, and quaint villages, Shengxianju Scenic Area is renowned for its breathtaking natural beauty. Adding to its charm, innovative infrastructure and striking bridges have quickly become a major draw. These eye-catching elements, combined with the pristine landscape, have helped establish Shengxianju as a must-visit hidden gem for adventurous travelers seeking both natural wonder and modern spectacle. Not far away is Tiantai Mountain Waterfall and Trail. A sacred site in Chinese Buddhism and Taoism, Tiantai Mountain is home to cascading waterfalls, forested trails, and ancient temples where monks once sought enlightenment. Taizhou Donghu Park is a tranquil urban escape with lakes, walking paths, and traditional pavilions, reflecting the harmony of nature and culture in Taizhou. The City Tower of Taizhou. Ancient city is a standing reminder of Taizhou's fortified past. The tower and preserved walls transport visitors back to the city's role in protecting coastal Shushan. Further south, the Zhenglang Mountain are recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Zhenglang's three massive red cliffs rise dramatically from the earth, resembling giant stone tablets inscribed by nature. Hiking trails reveal panoramic views and centuries-old legends tied to the mountain. In the southern province of Fujian, the Wuyi Mountains offer lush, mist-shrouded landscapes perfect for hiking and tea cultivation. Visitors can explore winding trails, take guided boat trips along scenic rivers, and discover sacred Taoist and Buddhist sites tucked among dramatic cliffs. Further inland, the UNESCO-listed Tulo houses of the Hakka people stand as remarkable examples of communal living and fortress-like architecture. These earthen structures, often circular or square, are complemented by local Hakka traditional dances, providing a living glimpse into centuries-old culture. Along the coast, Xiamen Beach offers sandy shores and a relaxing seaside atmosphere for the entire family. The Shamun Twin Towers, also known as the Shamun Straits Building, are an iconic landmark featuring two super high-rise towers with a distinctive sail-like exterior. As night falls, the towers come to life and are a signature feature of the skyline. A key attraction is the 55-story Cloud Shaman Observation Hall in the taller tower, offering 360-degree panoramic views of the city, including Gulangyu Island and Shamun University. Travelers heading to Chenzhou would have crossed the Luoyang Bridge, also called the Old Bridge. Built as one of China's earliest stone arch bridges, it was a significant architectural achievement and remains one of the longest ancient stone bridges in the country. In Chenzhou, bustling shipyards built junks strong enough for long voyages across the seas. After nearly 20 years in China, Marco Polo, with his father Niccolo and uncle Maffeo, set sail from the port of Zaiton, likely modern-day Chenzhou. They were escorting the Mongol princess Kokachin to marry Arghun Khan, the Ilkhan of Persia. Thus began Polo's epic return voyage by sea, through Southeast Asia, the Indian Ocean, and the Persian Gulf. Marco Polo likely stopped at the port that would one day become Singapore in 1292, during his return voyage from China to Persia. Though the settlement was far smaller then, part of the Srivijaya trading sphere, it was already a strategic maritime waypoint in the Straits of Malacca, connecting East Asia to India and beyond. Today, in the heart of Singapore's Chinatown, the Buddha Tooth Relic Temple and Museum dazzles with its Tang Dynasty-inspired architecture. This four-story sanctuary houses what is believed to be a tooth relic of the Buddha, displayed in a golden stupa, surrounded by sacred art, sculptures, and chanting halls. For a sweeping perspective of the modern city, ride the Singapore Flyer. At 165 meters high, it is one of the world's tallest observation wheels, offering panoramic views of Marina Bay Sands. Singapore's harmony of nature and architecture is on full display in its building plant green architecture, where skyscrapers are wrapped in living gardens. This fusion of urban design and sustainability creates a futuristic landscape unlike any other. Nearby, Gardens by the Bay invites visitors into a dreamlike world of giant super trees, glowing at night, mist-filled cloud forest domes, and futuristic conservatories blending technology with nature. Finally, no visit is complete without marveling at Jewel Changi Airport's rain vortex, the tallest indoor waterfall on Earth. Cascading through a lush indoor forest, the waterfall transforms into a nightly spectacle of lights and mist, embodying Singapore's spirit of innovation and wonder. Marco Polo stopped in Sumatra while escorting a Mongol princess by sea to Persia. Due to the monsoon winds, They were forced to remain on the island for 5 months while waiting for favorable conditions to sail onward. During this stay, Polo described the local kingdoms, wildlife, and customs in vivid detail. Including dramatic accounts of cannibalism and elephant hunts. Fearing hostility from the local population, his party even constructed a fortified camp on the coast for protection. Sumatra remains one of Indonesia's most rugged and biodiverse islands. Its vast jungles are home to extraordinary wildlife, including the rare Sumatran orangutan, elephants, hornbills, and even the elusive Sumatran tiger. Lake Toba, the world's largest volcanic lake, enchants visitors with its dramatic scenery of deep blue waters surrounded by lush mountains. The lake's central island, Samosir, provides a gateway to explore Batak culture, where traditional high-roofed houses line the villages, locals share stories of ancestral legends, and lively dance performances accompanied by traditional music bring the community's heritage to life. In the lush jungles, travelers can discover spectacular waterfalls, such as Air Terjun Sipiso Piso, which plunges an impressive 120 meters into the lake basin. Nearby, Ephrata Waterfall offers a quieter, more intimate setting, its gentle cascades framed by rice terraces and forested hills, making it a perfect stop for peaceful reflection and photography. In Aceh, visitors can explore grand mosques, old coastal forts, and moving tsunami memorials, reminders of both the region's resilience and its ties to the sea. Leaving the lush, tropical shores of Sumatra behind, Polo's voyage carried him across the Indian Ocean to the storied island of Sri Lanka. Marco Polo considered Sri Lanka the finest island of its size in the world. He was drawn by its fabled beauty, rich trade in gems and spices, and its deep religious significance. Sri Lanka is a tropical paradise, rich in history and culture. In Kandy, visitors can still see the Temple of the Tooth, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that enshrines what is believed to be a sacred relic of the Buddha. The temple is both a spiritual center and a place of dazzling ritual, with daily ceremonies, golden shrines, and the rhythmic sounds of drums and chanting. The island also holds the awe-inspiring ruins of ancient Buddhist kingdoms. The Sigiriya Rock Fortress, rising nearly 200 meters above the plains, offers panoramic views and murals of celestial maidens. The sacred cities of Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa preserve stupas, stone carvings, and colossal statues that reveal the grandeur of Sri Lanka's early civilization. In the hill country, the Nine-Arch Bridge in Ella stands as one of the most iconic feats of colonial-era engineering. The Central Highlands, with mist-shrouded tea plantations and cool towns like Nuwara Eliya, provide a refreshing contrast to the tropical coast. Visitors can stroll through emerald green estates, sip freshly brewed Ceylon tea, and enjoy colonial-era architecture in a mountain retreat often called Little England. For nature lovers, Gartmore Falls, tucked away near the tea country, cascades dramatically down forested cliffs, while the reclining Buddha of Polonnaruwa, stretching over 14 meters long, offers a serene glimpse into Sri Lanka's spiritual artistry. On the southern coast, the Gala Dutch Fort, with its clock tower and ramparts overlooking the sea, blends European colonial heritage with vibrant local culture. Its cobbled streets, cafes, and boutiques make it a living, breathing historical treasure. From wildlife safaris to spiritual journeys, Sri Lanka's landscapes and traditions mirror much of what fascinated Marco Polo centuries ago. As Marco Polo's ship approached the sun-drenched shores of South India, the coastline unfolded before him. In Malabar, likely the Pandya kingdom, and along the famed Malabar coast, he wandered among towering Hindu temples. At the bustling ports, he watched merchants from distant lands haggle over sacks of pepper, black gold that fueled the kingdom's prosperity. No journey through the region is complete without standing before the Virupaksha temple in Hampi. Its towering gateway Gopuram can be seen from afar, and inside travelers can admire intricately carved pillars, mythological motifs, and an atmosphere alive with centuries of devotion. The lush hills of Munnar, Kerala, invite travelers inland to rolling tea plantations. Here, mist curls over endless rows of tea bushes, and visitors can walk through estates, tour tea factories, and sip freshly brewed cups of world-renowned Kerala tea amid breathtaking mountain views. The Meenakshi Amman Temple in Madurai dazzles with its immense gopurams, gateway towers alive with thousands of colorful sculptures of gods, goddesses, and celestial beings. Inside, the temple's serene courtyards and shrines create a sacred atmosphere that blends artistic mastery with living devotion. South India is also a place where traditions flourish. At Indian weddings, brides and guests adorn their hands with mehndi, intricate henna tattoos made from the paste of the henna plant. These designs are not only stunning, but also symbolize good luck, fertility, and joy. Nature adds its own beauty to the journey. The Marmala waterfall, tucked deep in the forests of Kerala, offers a secluded escape surrounded by lush greenery. The mighty Athirupalli waterfall, often called the Niagara of India, roars dramatically as it cascades over rocky cliffs into the Chalakudi River. Finally, in Thanjavur, the Brihadiswarar Temple, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, showcases Chola dynasty grandeur with its towering Vimana, temple tower, detailed murals, and statues that narrate stories of devotion and empire. Leaving India and returning from China, Marco Polo stopped once again at Hormuz, this time completing the sea leg of his mission to escort the Mongol princess Kokachin to Persia. By the time they reached Persian shores, however, Arghun Khan, her intended husband, had died, and she was instead wed to his son, Ghazan Khan. After their farewell, Polo resumed his overland journey from this bustling Persian Gulf trading hub toward Tabriz, one of the great cities of the Silk Road. On the way to Tabriz, travelers can retrace Marco Polo's steps through some of Iran's most historic and atmospheric destinations. In the desert city of Yazd, the skyline is marked by mud brick rooftops and ancient windcatcher towers. The clay alleys form a magical maze, perfect for evening strolls. Here, visitors can also see the pigeon towers, ingenious architectural marvels built to house thousands of pigeons. These birds were not kept for food, but for their droppings, which provided valuable fertilizer for agriculture. Moving onward, Isfahan unfolds in breathtaking beauty, the heart of the city, Naksh-e-Jahan Square, where travelers can still take a horse and buggy ride across its vast expanse. Surrounding the square are some of Persia's most remarkable mosques. The Imam Mosque greets visitors with a soaring entrance arch adorned with dazzling tilework, while inside, the echoing dome and delicate mihrab glow with calligraphy and geometry. Just southwest of Tabriz, the shimmering Urmia Salt Lake stretches across the landscape. Its otherworldly white shores and pink-tinted waters, caused by algae and minerals, create a striking natural spectacle, especially at sunrise and sunset. Before reaching the city itself, the village of Kondovan offers a glimpse into an extraordinary way of life. Carved directly into volcanic rock in the foothills of Mount Sahand, these cave dwellings are not abandoned relics. They are still inhabited today, making Kondovan one of the few living troglodyte villages in the world. Finally, Tabriz awaits. Travelers can explore its Grand Bazaar, one of the oldest and largest covered bazaars in the world, alive with merchants selling carpets, spices, and silks much as they did in Polo's time. The Blue Mosque, though partly ruined, still reveals brilliant turquoise tilework. For a moment of serenity, El Goli Park offers a reflective lake and an elegant pavilion surrounded by gardens, a favorite escape for locals. From here, Marco Polo pressed onward, leaving Tabriz behind as he crossed into Anatolia on his way to Trabzon, continuing the long road that would eventually return him to Venice. Before reaching the Black Sea coast, modern travelers can discover remarkable sites that echo both Byzantine and Georgian legacies. Among them are the evocative Bana Cathedral ruins, a haunting reminder of medieval faith and artistry. The structure blends Byzantine and Georgian styles. Its weathered arches and crumbling walls still hinting at the grandeur of a bygone era. Further north, nestled dramatically against a sheer cliff face, lies the Sumela Monastery. Perched high above a forested valley, this Greek Orthodox monastery seems to cling to the rock itself. Founded in the 4th century, it became a vital center of learning and pilgrimage. Inside, travelers can admire vivid murals and mosaics that tell centuries of Christian stories. In winter, snow often blankets the monastery and surrounding peaks, creating a breathtaking scene of solitude and serenity. At last, the road delivers travelers to Trebizond in Marco Polo's time, once a glittering Byzantine outpost on the Silk Road. Here, the Hagia Sophia of Trabzon welcomes visitors with graceful Byzantine architecture, frescoed interiors, and views over the Black Sea. Nearby, Zagnos Park provides a green oasis within the city, with its small waterfall and pathways weaving through historic stone walls. Walking further, one can explore the walls of Trabzon, remnants of ancient fortifications that once protected this vital trade hub. Along the way, the World Heritage Mansions, ornate Ottoman-era houses, offer a glimpse into the city's elegant past. For Marco Polo, Trebizond marked a final major eastern port of call before re-entering the Byzantine sphere. It was a place of resupply and safe passage. On his return to Venice around 1294 to 1295, Marco Polo would have traveled through Constantinople, the capital of the Byzantine Empire. This magnificent city was the last major urban center before re-entering the Mediterranean from the overland or Black Sea routes. Renowned for its wealth, monumental architecture, and role as the trade gateway between Europe and Asia, Constantinople was a fitting final stop on Polo's long journey. Modern travelers to Istanbul can still walk through layers of Byzantine and Ottoman history. Rising above the city skyline, the Galata Tower offers sweeping views of the Bosphorus and the historic peninsula, a perfect vantage point to imagine the bustling harbor Marco Polo would have seen. At the heart of the old city stands the Hagia Sophia Grand Mosque, a masterpiece of Byzantine and Ottoman architecture. Its vast dome, mosaics from the Christian era, and elegant Islamic calligraphy make it one of the world's most remarkable sacred spaces. Nearby in the ancient hippodrome, the obelisk of Theodosius still stands tall, a relic brought from Egypt in the 4th century that connects Constantinople to the broader ancient world. Beneath the streets, the atmospheric cistern of Theodosius offers a glimpse of the city's hidden infrastructure. Its dimly lit columns and reflective waters create a mysterious, almost timeless atmosphere that brings Byzantine engineering to life. For a deeper look into imperial splendor, the Topkapi Palace showcases Ottoman power and refinement. With its courtyards, chambers, and treasury of relics, it echoes the grandeur that once made Constantinople the envy of the world. From the glittering domes and fortified walls of Constantinople, Marco Polo and his family continued their long-awaited journey home across the Mediterranean. Sailing westward, they passed through familiar waters. After more than 2 decades of adventure, service, and storytelling, Marco Polo returned to his native city around 1295, bringing with him tales of distant lands that would forever change Europe's imagination of the East. When Marco finally steps ashore in Venice, he arrived to find the city at war with Genoa, and he was soon captured in battle and spent over 3 years imprisoned, where he dictated his legendary memoir, The Travels of Marco Polo, to Rustichello da Pisa. But in the end, he brings back not gold or jewels, but something more valuable, a vision of the world that will inspire explorers for centuries to come. His tales were so extraordinary that many doubted him. Yet his book would ignite Europe's imagination for centuries. His story became less about proving what he saw, and more about inspiring others to seek what lay beyond the horizon. Through the hardship and wonder, Marco learns a truth that transcends borders. The world is richer, more complex, and more connected than any one culture imagines. He learned that curiosity is the bridge between civilizations, and openness is the key to understanding.